So far we've known Ubisoft as this giant company that pumps out AAA title games such as Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six games, The Division games and whatnot. Sure, they have made some free-to-play games such as Might and Magic, Trackmania, Brawlhalla, and some other mobile-based games, but mostly they are known for those AAA titled games. Well, buckle up buddy, because all of that is about to change. Ubisoft is planning to dive deep into the world of free-to-play games, but with the quality of AAA games. We have been seeing rumors of Assassin's Creed games being free-to-play, next Far Cry games potentially being free-to-play, Skull and Bones, The Division Heartlands and more. Not only this, but they have been significantly ramping up productions in their mobile departments ever since their partnership with Tencent. Does this mean that we won't see any premium games from them from now on? Well, I don't think so. We could still see some standalone installments from known franchises such as Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, but simultaneously we would still see free-to-play versions of these games. And obviously there are premium games that are coming out soon such as Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, which I'm really excited about and I talked about it in my previous video, and then we have Splinter Cell and more. Is that a bad thing? Well, it is way too early to say, but if we've learned anything about Ubisoft from the last couple of years, they have been bad at listening to what exactly players want, and they have been flooding their games with €40 DLCs, microtransactions, XP boosters and whatnot. So it's obvious that these free-to-play titles would also have all of these things, but ramped up to 11. I am going to bet my left nut on the fact that they're going to push Ubisoft's shitty NFT market, Quartz. Despite the entire community unanimously shitting on them for this stupid idea, looks like they are going ahead with the NFTs. In an interview with Decrypt, Didier Genevos, I don't know how to pronounce his name, I'm sorry, but he basically stated that despite the feedback, they are going ahead with the idea and they are really fulfilling or fleshing out the idea of NFTs and quote, "We use this technology responsibly and build a safe environment for players to explore NFT work, only leverage energy efficient proof-of-stake blockchains and focus on meaningful value propositions for players that benefit their gaming experience," unquote. Okay, that just sounds a whole lot of nonsense honestly, but we still don't know how NFTs will make any game's experience better, but yeah, they're going ahead with this idea and they're gonna implement some kind of NFTs into their new games coming up. Something tells me that players would not like to pay €60 for a game and then have NFT market instead of it, so it seems like they are pushing their major titles to be free to play so that they can lure more people into the market and microtransactions and whatnot. On one hand, I think it is a good idea to have a free-to-play games, from Ubisoft, because the idea of open world, cooperative Assassin's Creed games sounds pretty interesting to me. Me and my boys jumping around the buildings, doing missions together and whatnot, it sounds really cool and I absolutely love the idea, but on the other hand, it's guaranteed that the best content will be locked behind the paywall. Free-to-play games are not bad at all by any means. They provide a great value for the developers and the player base, and if you choose to pay, you will also get some incredible content in free-to-play games, and which is honestly great. But when a company like Ubisoft is pushing for free-to-play games, it really feels cheap and stingy for me. Are these games going to be bad by any chance? Maybe, maybe not. I try not to judge a game before it actually is released, but it is hard not to do so with companies such as EA and Ubisoft when their obvious goal here is to make money rather than provide a good experience to their player base. Do you all remember Hyperscape, right? If you don't know, it's their take on Battle Royale. It failed, they shut down the game, but I was one of those few people who actually enjoyed the game and I wished that they didn't shut down the game. Sure, it had many problems, but the core game and the ideas and the world was genuinely interesting, but instead of revamping the game, trying new things, they just shut down the game. And what stops them from doing the same thing with their future free-to-play games? Now of course a game like Assassin's Creed would never be shut down because that is their main money printing machine, so they will find a way to make it work. Because remember, Assassin's Creed Valhalla made well over $1 billion for Ubisoft, so obviously they would never let anything to happen to an IP such as Assassin's Creed. But what do you think all of this? Do you like the idea of your favorite franchise going to free to play? would you still be interested in playing such games, from Ubisoft especially? I'm more than willing to try these free-to-play games because, well, they are free and I got nothing to lose. And if the game is actually good, unless the game has reasonable amount of content and reasonable amount of monetization options, which does not affect the gameplay, I am more than happy to try free-to-play games and actually stick to them. But it all comes down to how Ubisoft is going to handle these games, and if they really prioritize the monetization of these games, they're gonna have a failure in their hands. But only time will tell. We have to see what they have in store for us. But do let me know what you think of this, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye and peace.